Hey, Final Builders. Man, this couch looks really small on camera. It's like a full two-person couch. Maybe I'm just really, really fat and take up too much of it. So today I want to talk to you about something which has been affecting us both one way and the other way recently, which is about leaving money on the table. And I'm convinced that a lot of people would be almost able to double their revenue if they simply chased the invoices that were currently sat waiting in their inbox. So the big problem is that when we send an invoice, it's very difficult unless you use invoice management software. Maybe you have an accountant or a bookkeeper who does this for you to actually keep track of all those invoices. There are obviously a few different stages of invoice or sending money. And a lot of the time, so actually let's start right at the top. Watching this video, let me know in the comments if there is an invoice that you should be sending right now to a customer. You physically haven't just got around to it. You've done the work. You know that they're going to pay. You physically haven't just sent the invoice. I've done it. There's stuff sitting in my outbox right now that I should be getting around to doing. I should do it after this call. I'll do it after this call. So that's the first level, is the invoices you know that are just waiting there. What about all this stuff like your maintenance contracts and your support plans and care plans and things like that? Do you have any outstanding invoices on that? So one of the jobs that I used to have when I worked at a car rental company was essentially just calling up people who owed us invoices. And I was staggered at how much you could make in a day if you just asked people and just called them up. A lot of the time they had the invoice, they just hadn't got around to paying it. And it happens, you know, things slip through the cracks, you know, nothing's perfect. Sometimes when things aren't put on like a standing order or a direct debit or a subscription model, then, you know, it just kind of goes over people's heads. Your job though is to call round and get those invoices paid. So the second question I would have is, who on your list do you know has got an invoice and simply hasn't got around to paying it? Maybe it's a deposit for the first part of a project for a customer. Maybe it's an invoice for a close, like a final invoice to finish off a project, and you think, you know what, I've finished this. They still haven't paid me yet though. Maybe it's for your care plans or your maintenance plans or something, hosting. Maybe there's some coaching or something where the invoice has been sent, it just hasn't been paid. This is a really vital part of a business. And it's not a glamorous part. It's not a particularly interesting part. Sometimes it can feel a bit awkward, particularly if you go up to customers. Here's the deal though. The more approachable you are and the less aggressive, obviously, you are, the more likely they are to pay. Having said that, the more regularly and persistently you contact people, the more likely they are to pay. Customers will get away with not paying invoices as long as possible. Your job is to do everything you can to remind them that you've done the work, they've rendered the services, and now they need to pay, and that's fine. Now, occasionally customers are going to say, look, we've got a real cash flow problem and we can't afford to pay you at the moment. And that's going to happen. It's probably a video for another time. Don't get angry, don't get pissed off, because then they're never going to pay you, ever. Like, if you get angry with them, they're never going to pay you. Don't do the stupid shit like taking them to court just yet, none of that kind of stuff. What you need to do is say to them, okay, help me understand how I can continue to, you know, generate money from this invoice that you owe, and if there's some sort of payment plan you can work out. If it's like $1,000 or $3,000 or something, you could probably work out a $100 to $1,000 a month payment program and get it paid that way. Say, we'll set up a standing direct order. Don't ever accept anything in lieu of an invoice. Occasionally, I even had a customer a long time ago say, oh, well, instead of this final invoice, we can't afford to pay you. So I was wondering if we could repay you in haircuts. And I was like, no, that's a fucking stupid idea. And it does happen. People will say, like I said, they'll do anything they can to get out of paying them. 9 times out of 10, people are really good and they just want to be able to pay it, and they'll pay you, no problems asked. There's a bit of a thing of being like desperation with invoices where you're like, oh, I don't want to appear too desperate. That's not it at all. Cash flow is the lifeblood of your business. Continuing sources of cash flow is so important to your business. You 100% need to go after it. I think there's a huge misconception that like going after all of the money that you're owed and all of the invoices that are outstanding is somehow, desperate or needy or something. No business is too needy for cash flow. You absolutely should be chasing cash flow. It should be your top priority. You might even want to think about dedicating a regular part in your week, just an hour a week, to just call around to those invoices that need paying. So first of all, there's invoices you need to send. You're probably leaving money on the table by not sending them. Just get them out there. There's no one's going to say, no, that's not ours. No, we weren't expecting to pay that. Don't worry about any of that shit. That's not going to happen. You absolutely deserve to be paid for projects and services that you've started or completed. If it's a deposit invoice, this is why we like to have, our little card machine with us, or we have our app, our website with us with a Stripe form, so we can just take card payments for deposits straight away. And we can say, yeah, we literally it's like gravity forms just in WordPress, and we'll just type in the amount, say, cool, if you enter your card information, we can get started on this straight away. We'll send you a receipt after it. So there's that level, right? Sending and actually sending the invoices that you've got. Secondly, collecting the invoices that are already out there. This is where, in my opinion, most people are leaving, especially funnel builders and digital creative services, they're leaving money on the table. Go out there, find those customers who owe you money, find those customers who haven't paid their invoices, call them up and say, hey man, I just wanted to make sure if everything's okay. Can I make sure that this can get paid? Is there anything we need to know? You don't have to offer terms of credit or anything like that. Don't listen to any of that bullshit. The third and final one is about offering invoices for future products and services. Often, and we've seen this, is people go through their list and they'll say, hey Casey, how's it going? We really want to get started with this new project with you, and we'd love to kind of kick off a brand new traffic program. This is the deposit invoice to kind of get started. This is the kickoff invoice. And if you take care of this, we can go ahead and pay for it. And we've had customers just kind of pick up projects and go, yeah, that's awesome. We'll love to go for that. That sounds fantastic. They've paid the invoice and just expected us. It's kind of like selling to them, but straight through to the invoice. I don't think there's anything wrong with that whatsoever. So make sure that when you go after your invoices and you go after your customers, obviously we're approachable, we're calm, there's nothing wrong with that. Think of it just as another transaction, and you're able to go through to them and say, look man, I just want to make sure that everything's okay. Can I ask you to take care of this? Now, it's also really important that at any point, invoices that go past kind of 90 days, that's when you start pushing into the red zone. Now, we have experience both being the person who hasn't paid it and being the person who hasn't been paid on 90 days, and it's not pleasant for anyone. Open communication is the best way forward with that, and to talk to your suppliers or your customers and say, look man, is there something we can work out? We're happy to take $100 a month. That's much easier on your cash flow to get us paid, because we obviously need this as well. It's super, super important that we understand this as part of that process. So are you leaving money on the table? Let me know in the comments below if this is something you've gone through, or if it's ever something you think, I always feel really awkward about it. You needn't feel awkward. It's your money already. They just haven't put it in your account yet. You can sometimes also make it easier for people to pay by breaking them down into like a monthly subscription or a revenue program or something like that. In the meantime, guys, thanks very much for watching. I'm Mike from sellyourservice.co. I'm Mike from sellyourservice.co.uk. Make sure you go ahead and check out the blog, which is sellyourservice.co.uk/blog. I really, really appreciate it when you guys give it a like and particularly a share. And if you're new to the channel, hello, I'm Mike. Click subscribe. I publish a new video every single day based around running a marketing funnel business or selling marketing funnels to your customers, and sometimes even building marketing funnels when I get around to it. In the meantime, I've probably got a couple of videos to the side here. I'll let you get on with the rest of your day. Thank you very much. Let me know in the comments below if there's been anything that's been particularly useful, particularly about sending invoices that are in your inbox or just calling up people who you've sent them to. Keep building those funnels.